Hello, I would like to talk about how dyspraxia brings along other health conditions, and as a dyspraxic I have support needs and have to be dependent on other people for certain things. In our culture in England, probably in the West, or maybe within our family, we were coached with the idea that people should be independent and they should be able to manage everything, especially progressing into adulthood, without relying on anybody else. And it was used in quite a negative way. I remember when I was young, relatives talking about someone who lived nearby who still lived with his parents even though he was in his 20s or 30s or so. So in our culture that is actually considered unusual, and it's a kind of the way it was portrayed to me as a child was as if to say it's a disgrace, it's a failure, he shouldn't be, like he's wrong to do that. And also there was a judgment on his parents for enabling him to be there. Codependency is a big topic, so I'm not going to try to summarise that or go into it at the moment. However, when I compare this with how things can work in more communal cultures, people are actually expected to support each other in a lot of parts of the world, and it's almost the opposite of the way I've just described. So for those who haven't seen these other cultures and how they work, might not have occurred to them that it doesn't have to be this way. This is not the right answer and that's the end of it. It's very individualistic in our culture, and that makes it difficult for somebody like me who has a lot of support needs, because I'm expected to cope and manage by myself completely independently. So where that can lead is people with dyspraxia, or I'll just say myself, I could have certain needs that aren't met, like being able to get food, being able to eat enough food, being able to eat on time, being able to manage how to look after myself, and how to get along with people, because as I keep saying that we're not trying to be rude, I've done some videos about this already, my interactions can have a lot of issues because I can't communicate in the way that's expected in our culture. And because of that, sometimes it can have really serious consequences on how I'm treated and the level of respect that I can receive from people, because I can't communicate in a way because of my differences in the way that I don't have thoughts in here, and I can't control how my voice comes out necessarily, to sound a certain way, to be polite, or to say the right words, or when to say something, and how to go about things with social, any kind of things that involve connection with other people. It can be challenging. Another thing is, I don't know if I've completed that point because I also have memory issues, but sorry if that, let's hope for the best. We can have a lot or some co-occurring health problems. So for me personally, because of my issues with proprioception, which I keep going on about, I need to go into more senses in other videos, so I'll do that another day. I don't know where my limbs are compared to myself and how they're moving, and hang on, just kind of got distracted. Pain. Okay, so what happened was, when I was a teenager, I was really interested in athletics, which is like running and cross-country running, and also track and field. And I loved it, and I decided I wanted to become an athlete. So my parents have always been very supportive with goals and activities, and they helped me as much as, and there were some other family members who also enjoyed athletics. But at a certain age, like late teens, I hurt myself. I had a fascia injury. And I believe it's partly because of my proprioception issues caused by my dyspraxia, because I wasn't able to be that conscious of how my body was moving. I wasn't using it in the most efficient way, and the upper body can be sort of more affected. So I don't know all the biology to this, but as dyspraxics we often have issues with things where we have to reach above our own head. So using our upper body and using our arms can, for some of us, be really more problematic than our legs, because legs are so big and strong, aren't they, usually, for a lot of us. Like if we have a certain level of health, we can walk even if we have a lot of coordination issues, but our arms aren't really very developed in comparison, and we have low muscle tone. So I developed a really severe chronic pain when I was about 17, and it's ruined my whole life, really affected everything that I've tried to do. But I feel like everything happens for a good reason, so a lot of challenges that have come from that and things that I haven't been able to do with my life have led to me meeting certain people or being in a certain place or going on a certain path with my studies. And I don't hate my past. Well, I do hate the last 3 years of it, but I'll get into that separately. But I don't sort of curse at having the shoulder problem. It's more of a sort of life challenge, because it mainly focused in my shoulder, a lot of other places as well. Another thing that dyspraxics can often have is hypermobility, and we're sort of too flexible, so we're always trying to like, if you think about this metaphorically, if that's the right word, we're always trying to like bend ourselves and bend to the situation and make sure everybody's comfortable, because we're very empathetic and we don't necessarily have boundaries. I know that's a common problem anyway, but I'm just personally I'm going along the lines that dyspraxics have more problems with boundaries, because we don't know like where I am. I don't know like which is me and then where does it end, and then even that I'm here in the first place. Earlier in my life I wasn't like sort of self I had self-awareness, but not of my physical. It's all of the deep thoughts that are happening somewhere deep inside, and all the kind of like deep feelings about things, rather than like my physical and how I'm moving around and that side of things. Let me think how I started. If I can remember how I started the video, then I can bring it to a close, because I had a few topics and then I was just picking one and trying to get it into a nice little 10 minutes. So what was it about? Oh, hang on, had it then. Forgotten again. It was about, was it about support needs? It can't be brushed off that we can have very severe support needs, but we do have a lot of value to offer. We have a lot of gifts to offer, and I can say we because I know a lot of dyspraxics, and they're really amazing people. We have a lot of things to offer which are really valuable and rare, sometimes rare. So needing help to be able to make a sandwich, but I'm gonna show you unconditional love. You know, there's like different people bring different things to society. So I think it's a shame that our culture really looks down on people being dependent on each other and blaming people for allowing someone to be dependent on them. It's needed and it works when it's balanced and understood better. It works. So maybe we can just gradually move the needle. Is that a phrase? Just randomly use that phrase then. Ooh, move the needle. Yes. Right. Thanks. Bye.